Guys, what's the crack? Crypto with Dinny, and it's Dinny here. Crypto with Dinny, Ireland's first Bitcoin and digital asset consulting company. We teach you how to retire early if you want to. You don't have to give up work. You can continue working if you like working. It's a bit of crack, but you'll have the choice. Maybe you don't have to work as much as you might have had to. Traditional retirement is 40 years to get a couple £100 a week, but the digital asset space is the highest performing asset class ever, so it's worthy of a small bit of your attention, and I believe people can get a retirement plan achieved in 4 years, so it's definitely worth your attention. Anyway, what I want you to chat to you a little bit about today is Bitcoin, is it correlated to tech stocks? Because that's what we always hear. You know, it's correlated to, let's say, the NASDAQ. So if tech stocks go down, Bitcoin goes down. If tech stocks go up, Bitcoin goes up. And you can argue it both sides, and you can see it both sides, okay? However, it's loosely correlated, and it's becoming less and less correlated, and it'll be correlated until it's not, okay? And this is the beauty of it. So I work in this industry, so I'm in the markets every day, and I'm just sort of observing from a distance what's happening. Now, short-term volatility for me as an investor, for me when I'm building pension plans with my clients, this is opportunity. This is a huge opportunity for us as investors. Okay, the fact that Bitcoin seems to be correlated and acting like a tech stock is a massive opportunity, because Bitcoin isn't a tech stock. Yes, it is a new technology. Some people classify it as the emergence of a new money. Some people classify it as store of value, the transition from physical store of value to digital store of value. And just like the transition from physical music, like CDs or tape recorders or back in record players, to digital music, like, you know, the digital version is orders of magnitude, and that's why it totally disrupts the physical version. So if Bitcoin actually is a transition from physical store of value to digital store of value, well, this is big. This is way bigger than just a technology company. This is money, and money is half of every transaction in the world. So perhaps some people are underestimating it, okay? But it's opportunity for those of us who've done the work and understand how big this potentially is, okay? And then we're able to build retirement around it, build retirement around the fact that we've done the work that other people haven't done, but they're going to come to the same conclusion, okay? There's nobody walking around with record players saying, I've got a new record player, it doesn't skip, and instead of 5 songs, you can get 50 on it. Your records are still screwed, okay, because we've digital music. And the same it will be with store of value assets. Any store of value asset, it's totally inferior to a digital version. A physical version is always it suffers from Newtonian physics. It breaks down. It can wear out. It needs to be maintained. It needs to be stored somewhere. You've cost all that, versus the digital version, because it's massless. You see, in the physical world we can't create perfection, but in the digital world we can create perfection, and that's amazing, okay? So this thing is bigger than we think. However, the whole point of the video, are we correlated? We are correlated to a degree, but when I look and I see how tech stocks are doing, you know, over the last weeks, months, they're getting smashed, they're getting wrecked, they're down 50%. In the last couple of weeks, Bitcoin's knocked down 50%. Some tech stocks, 1 and 2 are down over 50%, and some are down 90%. Now, Bitcoin's not gone down 90%. Bitcoin hasn't gone down 90% in 4 years, maybe 5 years now. Okay, when it went down 80%. So when you see tech stocks getting absolutely smashed and Bitcoin going sideways, yes, it's not doing a whole lot, but it's not getting smashed. And every time we see to go under this sort of 39k level, we seem to get bought back up again. Like we went to 37 this morning, and we got bought back up to 39, and that keeps happening. And what's happening there is, just explaining to you what's really happening. Guys, remember your daily exercise. If you like the Crypto with Dinny videos, if you want to be part of the community, hit the like button, throw a comment in, subscribe to the channel. Remember, the whole point of Crypto with Dinny is to push on Bitcoin understanding in Ireland and not allow Irish people to be left behind, or crypto Athenes worldwide, but not allow people to be left behind this thing. Because what's actually happening is, every time we get these pullbacks, suddenly we get a 1k candle where we get bought back up. Okay, and what's happening is short-term thinkers are selling, and long-term thinkers, sophisticated investors, or smart money are accumulating. Okay, they want their entries. So every time we seem to pull back, we get bought up. Now, in the short term, I don't know where Bitcoin goes. Like, I really don't. If, Crypto Athene, we've been talking recession for a couple of years now, saying a recession is inevitable, and I'm seeing the talking heads start to talk about it a little bit now. Not really in Irish media, but the smart investor, the smart people are sort of starting to talk, well, there's a chance of recession. I think there's not a chance of recession. It's a guarantee you're going to get a recession. And I'm not that smart. I'm just like, if you turn off the world for a year, it's the theory of, what would it be called in physics? Momentum. Okay, let's say this car breaks down and I'm stuck at the side of the road. Did you ever try to push a car? It's so hard to get the car moving. But once the car is moving, you can actually walk along with it, and it's not as hard. Okay? It's the same with an economy. Everything just works on basic first principles fundamentals, I think. You can't shut down an economy and then just turn it on again. You can't tell everyone stay at home, don't go to your job, your business is closed, your industry is closed, and then just with a key turn it on again and think it's going to be fine. There's a price to pay for that with the theory, with the theory of momentum, or the theory of getting something moving. It takes much more energy, and it's much more difficult to do than when you have momentum, when an economy is trimming along. It's a lot easier to sustain it, to maintain it. So that's why I think, a recession is an absolute inevitability, and people should prepare for that. Prepare your austerity measures before you need to. Don't live above your means, live below your means, and start accumulating some assets, and form communities and everything. But I suppose that's beyond the scope of this video. However, so what we're seeing tech stocks getting smashed and Bitcoin going sideways, and smart money is continuing to accumulate, and dollar cost average. Remember, if you don't know what dollar cost averaging is, learn it. And if you're new to these, the number one tip, so I was on holidays last week, so I sort of ignored my emails, and then when I come back and I open up my emails and my messages and my Instagrams and my Twitter messages and my Facebook messages, I get the normal. Like, every week I get horror stories of people who invested money into crypto instead of investing time into education, and then they're after losing a lot of money. And sometimes it's 500, sometimes it's 5 grand, sometimes it's 50 grand, and sometimes it's more. Okay, so what I always say to people is, my number one piece of advice, and everyone I've been consulting with this week, I've been like, just education is the most important thing in this market. Get educated. Don't use your money to learn painful lessons. Use your money to get education, so therefore you don't have to waste your time, you don't have to waste your money. So if we are truly going into a recession, which we are, okay, but either way, even in a sideways market, in a boring market, use the time wisely, use the time to learn. Okay, unfortunately, you can see now in my videos, when Bitcoin is pumping and crypto is pumping, there's loads of interest. Okay, but that's the worst time for people to want to be piling in. But retail people always do the wrong thing. That's why most people stay poor. Okay, you need to transition. You need to understand you want to be doing the opposite of what everyone is doing. Always have a really open mind. I was up to Bitcoin meetup last night, and one of the things I was trying to convey to people, which I think sort of has always done me well, is I always have a really open mind, and I'm always happy to be the dumbest person in the room. Okay, because then I have the best opportunities to learn. At the Bitcoin meetup, I was presenting and I was talking, so I didn't get a whole lot out of meetup because I was waffling the whole time. I prefer to be there and listening to other people talking. It's the same principle in sport. If I'm training, okay, I remember when I used to swim, there was one stage I was the strongest swimmer in the club. Therefore I led the lane, and all I had to do was swim a little bit faster than someone who's a weaker swimmer than me. So I never got a whole lot out of the session. Then I was like, okay, this has to change. So I went to a new swimming club that specialised in swimming, and I went from being one of the strongest swimmers to one of the weakest swimmers. So now I was at the back of the lane. Now I was murdering myself just to stay on the toes of the third slowest swimmer in the lane, and my swimming progressed so much from changing that from being the best to being the worst. Fair enough, my ego took a hit because I was no longer the best in the lane. Oh, look at you, Diddy, you're great. Well, I'm not interested in my ego. I was interested in becoming a better, stronger swimmer. And it's the exact same situation when I'm interested in learning. I want to have a really open mind, and I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I want to always be around people that are smarter than me, who challenge my thinking and help me grow and expand. So that's sort of my take on it. I think we are somewhat correlated, but I think Bitcoin's doing a little bit better than tech stocks at the moment. And what I also think is, and by the way, throw a comment in and let me know if you agree or disagree, or what you think. But what I can see is every time we break a level, we seem to get bought back up by smart money. You see that there's 500 Bitcoins are bought. They're not bought by short-term thinkers, they're bought by institutions. So while retail people are being flooded, fear, uncertainty and doubt, basically scared out of their Bitcoin for, whatever FUD reason, smart money is buying this thing up. This is scarce digital property, and every 4 years it has to be repriced. This is money that's programmed to go up in value over time. Okay? And every 4 years we seem to get a massive bull run, and we basically just add a zero to the price. Because, by the way, let me do a shameless plug here. If you want to build a portfolio to retire early, I'm just pulling up to the Crypto with Dini offices here. I have 3 consulting sessions this afternoon, where I'll be building portfolios with people. But if you want to retire early, consider Bitcoin Bootcamp. It's on this Saturday. It's on this Saturday. Oh, shameless. I'll tell you what, I'm going to look after you guys. If anyone hasn't actually done it, Bitcoin Paddy, great podcast. If anyone hasn't done the Bitcoin Bootcamp, for listening to the whole video, put in capital letters Bootcamp 50 and you get 50 quid off. Now, in the Bitcoin Bootcamp, you get taught how to build a retirement plan B, okay, because it's an alternative pension. You can have a regular pension, and if you want to go to your financial advisor and he'll sell you some products, you might pay him $2,000, you'll pay him 500 quid for a 30-minute phone call, where you won't actually achieve anything. But with Crypto with Dini, we're charging 200 quid to teach you how to set up a retirement plan B that may retire you in 4 years, because many of our clients have achieved retirement plans in less than 4 years that they didn't achieve in 40 years of contributions to their normal pension. So definitely consider that. Capital letters Bootcamp 50. It's on this Saturday. It's 9:30. We teach you altcoins, we teach you Bitcoin, we teach you all the different wallets, all the different ways to custody, all the different ways to generate yield, all the different risk profiles of where you store your assets and how you manage your assets. And then we teach you, of course, the most important thing, how to create your strategy. What is your strategy? Most people don't have a strategy. They just watch YouTube videos. They think now's a good time to buy, now's a good time to sell, and ultimately they're not going to retire early. They're not going to make a whole lot of money. Maybe they make 50 grand, maybe they make 10 grand, whatever. This market isn't to make that sort of money. This market is to retire early, so that you never have to worry about money again, and you create generational wealth. And I truly believe that that's totally possible. And therefore, it's worth people paying attention to this, because it's the highest performing asset class ever. And the next decade looks the most exciting of all other asset classes. Property, who knows? Everyone thinks it's in a bubble and it's going to crash. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Stocks, overvalued the feck. Even smart investors will tell you that. Okay, so they're due for a bloodbath. When it happens, I don't know. Okay, a bond market that's already wrecked. All bonds are underwater now, so that's gone. Okay, so of all the asset classes, and then we've the emergence of a digital store of value, and that's going to change our world this decade, and that's why you should pay attention to it and be part of it. But anyway, sorry, I was waffling there. Get into the Bitcoin Bootcamp if you haven't already done it. Bootcamp 50 gives you a 50 quid discount. That runs that discount runs until midnight on Thursday, I think. We've set it up on the website, midnight Thursday after Bitcoin Basics, and it's a good opportunity. Saturday morning, you give me a half day and I'll give you your plan to retire early, and that's how it works. It's invaluable. Like I said, knowledge is power, and most people, they're not putting the time into the education, and therefore you're paying for it with your results. You know that you're not getting the results that you should get by being part of this market. Anyway, I'm on a total waffle fest now. Guys, it's been good to talk to you. Hope you have a super day. Good podcast with John out on Spotify. John's a Bitcoiner. He's doing really cool things in the space. check out his perspective. He was over at Bitcoin Miami there in 2022, so we chatted about that. That's on Spotify at the moment on the Crypto with Dini podcast. I'll have it out on YouTube whenever I get the chance to do it. By the way, if anyone wants to help me run a podcast, get in contact if you've any skills. Let's build a cool podcast. Dini out!